Outrage is growing across the country over a semi-truck driver in Colorado sentenced to 110 years in prison for causing a fiery crash in Denver that killed 4 people back in 2019. Breaking tonight, the district attorney has now requested a hearing to reconsider the sentence, which essentially reopens the case. Rogel Aguilera-Mederos says he tried slamming on the brakes, but the brakes failed as he was going downhill. Prosecutors focused on his decision not to take a runaway truck ramp while he was traveling about 85 miles an hour on Interstate 70 west of Denver. A jury found him guilty on 27 counts, including 4 for vehicular homicide. The judge said his hands were tied because of mandatory sentencing laws. The driver passed all drug and alcohol tests, had no prior record.
This was a terrible accident. I know. I take the responsibility, but it wasn't intentional.
Now, more than 4 million people have signed a petition calling on Colorado's governor to reduce the driver's sentence. A group of truck drivers are refusing to drive into Colorado as they push for clemency. It's unclear at this point what the victims' families think of the sentence. We'd obviously be interested in hearing from them. In the meantime, we bring in David Beller, criminal defense attorney extraordinaire from Denver, Colorado, who joins us now. How do you get to 110 years for something that was, by everyone's agreement, an accident?
Leland, this is a clear case of the district attorney choosing to overcharge the case when this happened originally back in 2019. The legislature over the years has given district attorneys' offices all sorts of tools and power with very few limits. And the district attorney charged this case as though it wasn't simply a traffic accident, but rather was an act of murder. And when you charge the case the way they did, it ties the judge's hands. If the jury convicts, the judge has very, very, very little discretion. And here the judge gave the absolute minimum sentence, and that was 110 years.
What's fascinating is how the jury responded to the sentence. Take a listen.
I about cried my eyes out. That sentence is 100-fold of what it should have been. There's just something wrong when laws are written to where a judge cannot intervene.
So kudos to my old station, KTVR, Fox 31, for getting that interview, David. But at the same level, you've got the DA now saying he wants to reopen the case. He's the one who charged it originally.
That's exactly right, Leland. So the district attorney that was in power at the time brought these charges. A new district attorney came in. She's the one that is now asking that the court revisit the charges that were brought. Now, there was an opportunity as a matter of just weeks ago to dismiss some of these charges or to not bring all the charges that were brought. Keep in mind, Leland, had the jury convicted him of every single count that the district attorney's office brought, he would have received 180 years in custody. But because the jury only convicted of some of those, he's received 110 years. I am thrilled that the district attorney, and kudos to her, is listening to the public and realizes that this is absolutely, completely, and totally unjust. But keep in mind, this happens all the time across the country, certainly in the state of Colorado, and it demands that legislatures look at these laws, looks at the power that are being given to the district attorney and chooses to take away and or limit some of that power so that this isn't happening to defendants across the country and so that the taxpayer is not paying to incarcerate people for a lifetime when the crime does not fit the punishment.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. In that sense. Kim Kardashian, of all people, tweeted about this. I pray that Governor Polis, governor of Colorado, who's been a leader on supporting reforms that increase human dignity in the legal system, will commute his sentence. Brings up an important point, though. You've got 4 people who are dead here. The driver was driving the truck, but if he said the brakes failed, has there been enough of an investigation into who owned the truck? Was it serviced well enough? Do any of them have criminal liability for a crash that they too, had they serviced the truck well enough, could have prevented?
You know, it's unlikely, Leland, that they would have criminal liability. Do they have civil liability if there are underlying issues with that truck? That is without a question. And I think that now that the criminal case is over, we are going to be seeing more investigations regarding whether there is actual civil liability. I applaud Kim Kardashian. I applaud the governor's statements about this. I applaud the district attorney listening to the public and saying, you know what, there has been an injustice
I hate to interrupt you, David, but couldn't the judge have also, though, said quite simply that he could have thrown out a number of the charges unilaterally? He could have thrown out the conviction if he'd felt like it.
He can't, Leland, unless the evidence didn't support the crime. In Colorado, it's the district attorney who has the power, not the judge. And so the legislature has the opportunity to fix this.
Got it. Well, sometimes something sort of so stark has to happen like this before the legislature acts. I know this is a conversation you and I talked about even when I was a young reporter back in Denver. I'm going to date both of us now 10 years ago. It was fun to chat then. It's good to see you again.
Same here. Thank you, Leland.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.